Hello, good afternoon. It's me, Sir John Garjay Manansala. Today, this afternoon, I'm going to discuss one of the essential topics in studying literature, which is elements of short story. We all know that short story is an integral part of our lives, isn't it? So, I'm going to discuss now what are the five major elements of short story. So, the first one is the character. These are the important figures, animals, person portrayed in a particular scene or in a particular situation being told in a story. So, there are two types of character. The first one is protagonist. When we say protagonist, this is the main character or the lead character in a story, also known as bida. And antagonist, it is the type of character that opposes the main character. So, for example, in a particular movie or in a particular teleserye, for example, so the one who leads in a particular story is also known as the protagonist, while the villain, another term for antagonist. So, characters plays an important role in a particular story. So, as a writer, you need to have characterization in order for you to produce a good story. Because without a good characterization or good description of a character, there's no such thing as a character. And then, let's proceed to the second element of the short story, which is the setting. So, setting sa Tagalog po ay tagpuan. So, this is where and when the story takes place. For example, in the market, in the living room, in the school, in the science school laboratory, or any place where the story takes place. But I want you to remember that setting, it's not about only the place, but also it depicts the atmosphere, the aura, or the mood of the story. For example, one summer evening, during summer, during rainy season. So it also depicts the climate where the story takes place. So there are two types of setting. The first one is physical setting or the geography of the story. And another type is social setting. When we say social setting, it's about the mood of the story. So, it pertains to how the character socialize with another character during the story. And a writer wants to emphasize the mood or the atmosphere of the story. Okay, the third element of the short story is plot. When we say plot, it is the framework or the sequence of events in a short story. So, there are 5 parts of the plot. The first is the rising action. The first one is the exposition rather. The second is rising action, climax, falling action, and denouement. So, on my next video blog, I want to focus on the 5 parts of the plot. But today, I'm not going to discuss that. For my next succeeding vlogs or educational videos, I will discuss those parts of the plot. So, let's proceed to the fourth element, which is the theme. So, when we say theme, it is the central message of the story. So, the writer wants to give a lesson or a viewpoint regarding the story. For example, in a story, The Monkey and the Turtle, the theme there is there's no such thing as competition, because competition or being competitive in a negative way is not acceptable in our society. Being competitive is not wrong, but it depends upon in a given situation. So according to the story, the monkey wants to compete with the turtle. So, in a negative way. That's why it is not acceptable. So, the last element of a short story is the conflict, which is the problem or the issue found in the story. So, there are different types of conflict. Man versus self, man versus nature. Ayan. So, the you are just going to expound your ideas or your essentials, your viewpoints in a particular story. So, let's have a recap. Okay, so the first type of the short story is the character, the first element, followed by setting, plot, conflict, and the theme. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to follow Sir JK for the vlog, and thank you so much for my dear subscribers. Don't forget to follow. Thank you very much. Goodbye.